the Football for Kids podcast with me, Darren Rees. In this episode, we're going to be talking about one of the most unsuccessful football teams there has ever been. Yep, we're going to be talking about the country of San Marino. On the podcast, we tend to talk about those that have done very well. Those teams, players and countries that have won a lot of trophies and competitions. In this episode, we'll be talking about San Marino Football Club, the country's team that haven't won an official game for 20 years. Yes, you heard me right. They haven't won an official match for 2 decades. Now, before we get into the fascinating story of San Marino Football Club, I want to say a massive shout out to everybody who listens on Spotify. Now, you might already know this, you might not, but every time there is an episode released on Spotify, you can click on the episode and there is a question for you to get involved with. On the last episode, which was part 2 of the Harry Kane story, I asked who is the greatest England player of all time. And looking through the list here, we've got Harry Kane, Sir Bobby Charlton, Phil Foden, Joe Hart, Teddy Sheringham, Wayne Rooney, Sir Bobby Charlton again, Michael Owen, David Beckham, Jude Bellingham, Beckham again, Gary Lineker, Wayne Rooney again, Harry Kane again, and the list goes on and on and on. So thank you so much to everybody who has got involved in that one. And on the Harry Maguire episode, I asked who is the GOAT. And by the way, just in case you weren't sure, GOAT is the greatest of all time. I've got Messi, Haaland, Pele, CR7, that's Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi and Pele again, Harry Maguire again, Thierry Henry, Mary Earps, and plenty of others. If you haven't already looked or got involved in the Q&As or the polls on Spotify and you listen to the podcast on Spotify, then please go and check out the episodes, click on them and get involved. Right then, let's jump straight into this episode, shall we? On possibly the most unsuccessful, in terms of results, football team there has ever been in international football. Well, I guess we'd better start with a little bit about the country of San Marino. San Marino is a small country that sits in the north-central part of Italy, and it's the 5th smallest country in the whole world. As it stands, there are 195 countries in the world, and the smallest country in the world is actually called Vatican City. Anyway, back to San Marino. There's about 33,000 people who live in the country. This is important because the less people in a country means you are less likely to get a team of footballers of an amazing standard, as there are far fewer to choose from. I mean, look at a country like Brazil. They are football bonkers in Brazil. Almost everyone is playing football on the beaches, on the streets and everywhere you go. And there's approximately 217 million people who live there. That means that they are more likely to have a stronger team, as there are so many more footballers. And because of that, the coaches and managers get to choose from a wide variety of players and make the strongest team. San Marino play in a sky blue kit, which is a very similar colour to what Man City play in when they're at home. The other kits they have are navy blue and white with splashes of sky blue on it. San Marino played their first ever official match over 30 years ago, and that ended in a 4-0 defeat. Since then, the country have competed in the qualifiers for every FIFA World Cup and every Euro tournament, and they've never managed to qualify. In fact, San Marino have never actually won an official competitive match. The one and only time they won was a friendly against Liechtenstein, and that was 20 years ago, in 2004. Almost all of the San Marino players are either amateur players or semi-pro players who hold one or more jobs outside of playing football, and none of them play for recognisable football teams. At the time of recording this, San Marino are the lowest ranked football team in the whole of the world ranked by FIFA. They are ranked all the way at the bottom at 210. Over the years, San Marino have been beaten heavily. They've been beaten 5-0 by England, 6-0 by Finland, 7-0 by Switzerland, 8-0 by Italy, and in 2006, Germany beat them 13-0, which was one of the biggest official international football wins, until France beat Gibraltar 14-0 in 2023. San Marino have conceded by 10 goals on 7 separate occasions over the years, and the number of goals they have had scored against them is quite mind-blowing. Over the years, San Marino have built a reputation for being a team of a very low standard, and to be beaten by them is something which other teams and managers dread. In 2001, San Marino played Latvia and they drew 1-1. It's reported that the manager at the time, who was a British manager called Gary Johnson, resigned after not being able to defeat them. Gary then went on to manage Bristol City, Peterborough, Cheltenham and Torquay, to name a few. San Marino did actually hold a FIFA record though, and it wasn't for anything bad either. They held the record for 22 years for the fastest goal in a World Cup qualifier. The fastest in history. It was 8.3 seconds, and it was against England. However, England came back to win that game by 7-1. A record that San Marino have also been responsible for, which isn't exactly something to shout about, is when they went 20 matches without scoring a single goal. Those 20 matches stretched over 4 years. 4 years without scoring a goal. That is quite something. Although San Marino haven't got superstar players or goals galore, they are a well-supported team. Their stadium holds 7,000 people, and when they play away, more often than not, their fans travel to see them. For example, when San Marino played the Republic of Ireland, 3,294 tickets were sold, and 2,500 of them were brought by San Marino fans, meaning that San Marino had more fans in the stadium than the home side did. San Marino's most recent match was on the 20th of March 2024, and they lost to the Caribbean side, St. Kitts and Nevis, 3-1. San Marino have a rematch with the same Caribbean side on the 24th of March. Then they have games scheduled with Slovakia, Cyprus, and the last team which they beat 20 years ago, Liechtenstein. San Marino don't have a Messi or a Ronaldo in their team. They don't have goals that get millions of views on YouTube, and they certainly won't be winning the World Cup anytime soon. But who cares? They're a team who gives it everything they've got. They're a team of individuals who play as a team for the love of the game and not for the money. And when they finally win, and it will happen, the team and their supporters will feel on top of the world. And there's a lot to learn from that. I hope that you've enjoyed listening and learning about the underdogs of all underdogs, San Marino. And remember, if you know someone who loves football just as much as you do, then please tell them about Football for Kids. And whether you're playing football soon, watching it on the telly, or pitch side, I hope that you enjoy the game. See you next time.